On a quiet summer morning in Buenos Aires, Argentina, bank employees arrived at work to find something shocking. The vault of the Banco Río in the affluent suburb of Acassuso had been emptied. Millions in cash and valuables gone. No alarms, no forced entry, just an open safe in an eerie silence. At first, police thought it was an inside job, but when they entered the underground level of the bank, they discovered something out of a movie. A hole, perfectly cut into the floor of the vault. It led to a tunnel, and what lay at the other end would leave investigators stunned. This was not a robbery done in the heat of the moment. It was the result of months of planning, engineering, and criminal genius, and somehow no one saw it coming. The year was 2006. The Banco Rio in Acassuso was considered a fortress. Reinforced vaults, cameras, guards, and state-of-the-art security systems. Yet on January 13th, the unimaginable happened. The heist began like a classic hostage situation. Around noon, 5 armed men stormed the bank. They fired shots into the air and took 23 hostages. Police were called. A full perimeter was set up. Negotiators arrived. For hours, the robbers demanded food, money, and a getaway vehicle. It seemed like a textbook standoff. The police, unaware of what was really going on, followed protocol. They tried to maintain communication with the robbers, negotiated from outside, and waited for the situation to calm. Meanwhile, news vans swarmed the area. A tense drama unfolded on live television. But behind the scenes, something else was unfolding. What no one outside the bank realized was that while the police focused on the robbers upstairs, another part of the team was hard at work underground. Using a tunnel that had been dug in secret from a nearby rented house, they were now beneath the vault. The tunnel wasn't some crude dirt hole. It was a reinforced, professionally designed passage complete with lighting, ventilation, waterproofing, and wooden supports. It ran over 40 meters and ended directly beneath the bank's floor. And while the hostages were used as a distraction, the real action was taking place below. The robbers spent hours breaking into the vault from below. Once inside, they opened over 140 safe deposit boxes, jewelry, cash, gold bars, foreign currency, all collected carefully and packed into duffel bags. At around 7 p.m., after more than 6 hours inside the bank, the robbers disappeared. When police finally stormed the building, they found the hostages unharmed, and the robbers gone. There were no traces, no gunmen, no gunfire, just a handwritten note left behind. In a neighborhood of rich people, without weapons or grudges, it's just money, not love. The media went wild. Who were these robbers? How did they escape under the noses of hundreds of police officers? And how had they dug such an elaborate tunnel unnoticed? The plan had been executed with military precision. The men had rehearsed the operation repeatedly. They used encrypted walkie-talkies, studied police tactics, and had inside knowledge of the bank's security systems and floor plans. They timed everything perfectly. And most impressively, they left no immediate trace. The total take was estimated at over $20 million in cash and valuables, though the true amount may have been even higher due to unregistered safe contents. For weeks, it seemed the robbers had vanished into thin air. Meanwhile, investigators pored over the crime scene. The tunnel led them to a storm drain connected to the city's sewer system. From there, it stretched to a house located several blocks away, a house the gang had rented months prior. Inside, police found more clues: construction tools, food supplies, and a hidden exit. The house had been a front, a launch pad for a crime that could rival the greatest heists in history. But as with many brilliant crimes, ego and betrayal would be their undoing. One of the robbers, a man named Leonardo Farina, had boasted to his girlfriend about his involvement. After a bitter breakup, she went to the police, and the entire operation unraveled. Police arrested Farina, who eventually gave up the names of the others. Among them was the mastermind, Fernando Araujo, an artist and martial arts enthusiast with no criminal record. But Araujo was more than just a dreamer. He was obsessed with heists and had studied bank robberies for years. Araujo had orchestrated the entire plan. He recruited a team of skilled men, some with backgrounds in engineering, others in burglary. He rented the house near the bank and spent 6 months digging the tunnel, working mostly at night. To cover the sound of digging, he played loud music, timed his activity with nearby traffic noise. or ran power tools to mask any suspicion. He planned every detail: the tunnel, the timing, the fake hostage crisis, the getaway through the sewer system, even the philosophical note left behind. Each member of the crew had a defined role. One was responsible for logistics and equipment, another coordinated movement in the tunnel. A few acted as the face of the operation inside the bank. No one acted impulsively. Each move was deliberate. The group became known in Argentina as La Banda del Siglo, the gang of the century. In court, their story captivated the country. Unlike typical criminals, these men had used creativity, intellect, and restraint. They harmed no one. They fired no bullets. They seemed like gentlemen thieves, more out of fiction than reality. Araujo served only a few years in prison. He claimed he did it not for the money, but as a form of performance art, an elaborate act of rebellion against the system. One of the other robbers became a motivational speaker. Another disappeared altogether. Most served light sentences, and some stolen items were never recovered. In 2020, the story was adapted into a major Argentine film titled El Robo del Siglo, The Heist of the Century, which became a box office hit. The film dramatized the events but stayed close to the facts. Viewers around the world were introduced to the unbelievable real-life story that had stunned Argentina years earlier. So what made this heist different? It wasn't just the money, it was the elegance, the restraint, the planning. The tunnel became a symbol of what happens when intellect is applied to crime. These weren't violent thugs. They were architects, actors, engineers, illusionists. And the illusion worked. The entire police force was looking at the front door while they walked out the back, underground. There's a reason why this heist is still studied by law enforcement agencies and filmmakers alike. It showed that with enough time, precision, and daring, even the most secure systems can be outsmarted. But it also showed something deeper, that sometimes the line between genius and crime is only a matter of direction. The same minds that build bridges, code algorithms, or perform surgery can also dig tunnels beneath banks. The Banco Río tunnel heist is one of the most fascinating stories in criminal history. It wasn't just a robbery, it was a masterpiece of misdirection, patience, and planning. What do you think? Was this a brilliant, victimless crime? Or just luck meeting opportunity? Were they rebels or criminals? Artists or thieves? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real-life stories of genius criminals, unbelievable escapes, and justice that takes its time, subscribe to Criminal Chessboard, because sometimes the smartest minds don't wear a badge, they carry a shovel.